And in today's video, we're going to go over some official details that have come out about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania by none other than Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel Studios. He has literally just confirmed the plot leak, and he's actually just confirmed some huge ass spoilers. And then some people go, yo, War Stu, why'd you ruin thing? You've literally got Kevin Feige confirming said plot leak is true. So, yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? War Stu here with another video on Ant-Man 3. If you're new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, pop culture-based content that we cover on a daily basis. If you could, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know. How hyped are you for Ant-Man 3? If you could, check us out on Instagram at WarStew to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And also check us out on Twitter for WarStewG. So, Marvel fans have received some really cool information about Kang the Conqueror. We've also, via the Empire magazine, just got a really cool shot of Jonathan Majors playing Kang in his chair. Looks so badass. So, I'm on the Wasp: Quantumania, thanks to no other than the architect of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Kevin Feige, has just dropped some huge ass spoilers. Yeah, I didn't see this coming either. They don't need us YouTubers to drop spoilers anymore. Mr. Kevin Feige does it himself. In an interview with Empire magazine, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige laid out the important details about Kang and his place in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, calling Kang the obvious choice. In tackling the concept of the multiverse, Feige explained that Jonathan Majors' villain is a different kind of antagonistic, in that he's fighting an internal battle with himself as much as fighting the heroes of the Marvel Universe. Now, what I find interesting here is Kang. Which version of Kang is it? Because there's a rumor, a theory going around that it's the Kang Warrior. But what I think is kind of interesting, and a few people did pick up on this on the comments, actually commented that, is this Kang allegedly has beaten and killed the Avengers, yet he didn't know Ant-Man Scott Lang was an Avenger until he said, yo, I'm an Avenger. And he's like, oh, the Avengers, have I killed you? So, is this a Kang from a different timeline, not the sacred timeline? Is this the last surviving Kang from a different timeline? We don't know. Obviously, this is Marvel and they have to keep it grounded. They have to keep the story basic because Marvel movies essentially has a younger audience. No, I'm not belittling the property. I'm just saying a good movie should be made so a child could understand it. They're not going to make it crazy complicated, even though it is to do with parallel universes and the multiverse. I just find it fascinating that this Kang doesn't seem to know that he was Avenger, yet he's like, yo, have I killed you before? So Mr. Kevin Feige had the following to say. He's the obvious choice as you're dealing with the multiverse. Kang allowed us to do a new kind of big bad. He's a different type of villain, warning amongst themselves as much as he's warning with the heroes. Although he's still a threat, Feige noticed that Kang isn't at full power in Ant-Man 3. And your boy War Stu said that. I literally said that, didn't I? I'm not going to play the clip from the other video because that really wouldn't work on this kind of video. But I said the reason why the Ant family can go against him is because they would not introduce Kang at full power the first time we see him. He Who Remains in Loki. Okay, yeah, they're all Kangs, but
I try to explain what I'm capable of, but we don't have the million years it would take for you to understand. Some, I guess, cultural pop references were, of course, The Wizard of Oz, Sunset Boulevard, Citizen Kane, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the archetype of the wizard and what happens to him when he gets bored, you know, and he becomes a trickster.
Guys, if I was gonna do an exploding chair, why wouldn't I just do an exploding floor?
And I think when we meet He Who Remains, he's on the borderline of those two things. You don't really know where he's at. And I think the ambiguity of that is one of the wicked things about it.
You think I'm just here with you. Whoo! I am everywhere.
Like, we're watching the flowering of the next phase of the Marvel Universe.
The variant of He Who Remains, the one he's been talking about, the one that he's so afraid of,
See you soon.
is Kang. Kang is bent on destruction, and I'm so curious to see what Jonathan does in the future.
I think with He Who Remains, the objective for me was to give me the largest canvas possible. And then from that, as Kang begins to rear his head and do his deeds. In so many ways, he has no choice but to be in opposition or to be different from he who remains.
But this is Kang the Conqueror that has been confirmed. The MCU boss then spoiled even more. The villain's core mission. He literally tells you Kang's ultimate plan. And we were right. We were right, and it also confirms plot leaks right. So let's break it down. The villain's core mission in the movie is to leverage the Pym's family along with Scott Lang to get his time chair back in working order, which confirms said plot leak. Careful spoilers, I don't want to ruin your life, but this is why you like my videos. So in the plot leak, it essentially says that Janet completely destroyed his multiversal travel ship because she found out his true plan. And then she pieced, and then essentially what happens is Kang has all this time to seek revenge. Interesting. So time is going to be very important in this. As we know, Scott missed out on a lot of time with his daughter Cassie because of the blip, the 5-year gap. She was a little child. Now she's a teenager somewhat. We see the clip in the trailer where she is coming out of some kind of jail cell, it looks like. So initially, the trailer is kind of misleading and the scenes aren't playing out how it actually shows you. It kind of misdirect. So we know Scott will initially agree with the plan because there's a part in the trailer where Scott's like, we had a deal. So we know Kang is going to screw him over regardless to which way it works out. So it is interesting how Feige's literally revealed everything. So let's carry on. Leveraging the Pym's family along with Scott to get the time chair back in working order, which will allow him to go anywhere and any when he wants. Now that is interesting and give him access to any point in time and space through the multiverse. Now it's interesting how it says any when he wants. Allow him to go anywhere and any when. Very interesting that Feige is literally ruining his own movie, but I understand how marketing works. They have to kind of market the movie and they have to let information get out because obviously there's comic book readers and there's people that don't know anything about Kang. So they need to set the stage and I'm freaking hyped for this movie. Even more so. Now we've got the affirmation and the confirmation of Kang's freaking chair and it looks so beautiful. So let's digress. Kang's a very powerful person, but when we meet him, he's in a position where he needs to get the power back. He has a ship and a device that would allow him to go anywhere and any when he wants, if he can get it online. Interesting how he says it online. So Kang is somewhat of a futuristic, time-traveling villain that relies on technology. If only he had access to the genius scientist with Pym particles. Yo, Kevin Feige, you're literally making all these plot leaks that I've been going over credible because that is literally what you're saying. Then I'm reading this from an article. I may leave it down below. And then it went on to say, Jonathan Majors from Ant-Man 3 showing Kang sitting in a time chair. He actually looks like he's asleep in this picture. So the deal is all about Scott Lang getting the power core, the power cell for the space travel, multiverse travel ship, aka his chair. Now, are we going to have to go to the quantum nexus? We don't know. But this article confirms it's going to have to be somewhere inside the quantum realm because Kevin Feige has confirmed he doesn't have a power device to use said multiversal travel chair to go anywhere and any when. So, Ant-Man's Pym particles became arguably the most important tool in the MCU at the end of the Infinity Saga, when Scott Lang realized he could use them to help the Avengers travel back in time to save half of the universe in Avengers Endgame. So it's believed somewhat that there is Pym particles still left. There's not an endless supply of them, but there is at least one Pym particle left. But while this made him one of the biggest heroes in the world, thanks to his discovery, that's found now appears to be exactly what Kang the Conqueror needs in order to make his own ascent to power as the MCU's next huge villain. Feige reveal will most likely come into play in the latter stages of Ant-Man 3. It literally does in the plot league. I'll put a card over now if you're interested, but it does come into play massively. While Kang working his influence over Scott in order to obtain the necessary Pym particles to get the time. I'm so happy they're using the time chair. And yeah, I am transparent. I'm not the biggest comic book reader, but I understand how Kang runs in the comics and how the chair is very important to get his time chair working again. And considering how powerful Kang will be when he gets the chair back in order, it will only be a matter of time until Ant-Man and the Pyms realize the kind of mess that they're in. After agreeing to help him with his mission. Now, we know in the trailer, Janet Van Dyne knows how powerful he is and knows his endgame. That's why she peeks out of the quantum realm before messing up the time chair. In the trailer, the most recent trailer, she says this: he can rewrite existence and shatter timelines. You cannot trust him, according to Janet Van Dyne in the most recent trailer, aka Michelle Pfeiffer. So, Kevin Feige, my boy, you've literally just confirmed every plot leak video I've done and every video I've done about Kang's Dynasty. Ant-Man 3 being a direct precursor to the events of Avengers Kang Dynasty, which most likely will be delayed. We did a video on it yesterday. This plot point will only be more vital as Major's main villain uses a chair to traverse through the multiverse, find its variants, and unleash chaos on every dimension available. And how does this movie end? Careful for spoilers, I don't want to ruin your life. It ends with Kang escaping said quantum realm, which means he eventually, throughout Ant-Man 3, will get the time chair working properly and leave Scott Lang and Hope in the quantum realm forever. And also, we don't know how long he's going to be in there. So we know this movie will be 2 hours long. We know when he was in there for 5 hours, which was actually 5 years in real time, because he was in there during the blimp, hence why he didn't get to grow up with Cassie, etc. So does this mean the movie will actually be 2 years, which would take us to 2025, which was the original release date for Kang's Dynasty, but we know it's going to be pushed back now because they need to focus on quality, not quantity. And with all the issues that Marvel Studios is having with VFX artists, no one wants to work with them because they put too much pressure on the artists. So Marvel also came out and confirmed that Kang is the strongest ever. I don't know why they need to do this, but they've officially come out. So in Disney's official Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania press release, Jonathan Majors was declared the most powerful MCU villain to date, even above Thanos. I don't even know why we need to say this. It's a bit obvious, it's a bit apparent. Thanos wasn't a multiversal villain. He was, don't get me wrong, with the Infinity Stones, he was powerful, but he ain't on Kang's level. So how powerful? He can rewrite existence, shatter timelines. You cannot trust him, according to the most recent trailer. Now, the director, Peyton Reed, called Kang the following: the most powerful being in the multiverse. Now, why this is interesting is because there are so many more villains coming in Phase 5 and 6 across the multiverse and in other dimensions we've not met. But by Peyton Reed saying the most powerful being in the multiverse, that director is telling the Marvel fans no one in the multiverse is more powerful than Kang. Not even the Living Tribunal. Not even the Beyonder, not even Blue Marvel. No one is more powerful. I'm only going through a few examples. Obviously, there's like Sentry. Yeah, I get it. There's a bunch more characters I could list. I don't want this to be a long video. So also, he noted how it was exciting to see one of the most underrated Avengers, Scott Lang, go up against such a huge threat. It was so great to put the energy up against Paul Rudd's energy, and it was mirrored what we were doing in the movie itself. A lot of people might consider Ant-Man the weakest Avenger. What can that guy do? He shrinks and talks to ants. That's ridiculous. Putting that guy up against Kang the Conqueror, who is the most powerful being in the multiverse. That seemed really exciting to us. And it's also worth saying that they did confirm, and also Feige confirmed, that he's not actually going to be at full OP power when they see each other inside said quantum realm, which it was obvious, hence why I brought it up a few videos back. So regarding Jonathan Majors' performance as Kang, he's praised highly the energy the rising star had during the filming, adding the actor was very intimidating force to the point where the crew knew Kang the Conqueror was there. Jonathan brought an entire different energy to set. The Ant-Man movies have always been comedies. I like to have a really relaxed, fun set so that the actors can go in front of the cameras and feel comfortable, trying weird stuff. It's a safe space. Jonathan came in as the disturber. This is very intimidating force. He carried music with him when he showed up on set. We knew Kang the freaking Conqueror was here. According to Reed, the scope of Quantumania is going to be massive. A villain like Kang was needed in order to achieve that. The director also included that Kang is one of the greatest antagonistic in the whole of Marvel comic. I mean, that is actually true. Whilst retaining the intimacy of the family story we decided we wanted to go really big. And to do that, we needed a world-class villain in a movie like this. As a kid who grew up reading the comics, I always loved Kang the Conqueror. He was one of the greatest in the comics. Yeah, pretty much. He's a badass. If the title of the next Avengers film is Kang's Dynasty wasn't convincing enough, Reed's comments on the overwhelming presence and the power of the Conqueror proved that the character means business. Jonathan Majors even commented on the similarities and differences between the character Thanos, specifically teasing the ongoing presence that Kang will have for years to come. Well, we kind of know this because he's also going to be very important for Avengers 6, which was scheduled for 2026, but most likely be 2027. The actor also talked about the differences between the two big MCU baddies, saying that it's a whole different world for his journey, and Kang, the power he will unleash. Obviously, Infinity Stones, time-traveling beast who can literally do whatever he wants to do. He can freeze time, go back, go forwards. And it's going to be very interesting because we know Loki Season 2 is also going to be a huge factor because Loki Season 2 comes out after Kang the Conqueror's first appearance in Ant-Man 3. And what was Loki for? To set up everything. He Who Remains died, essentially, explained everything, said, you have no idea what's coming, you have no idea what you unleashed, and then we get right at the post-credit scene, the ending scene for Loki Season 1, he's like, you don't know what's
done.
We freed the timeline. We found him. Beyond the storm. A citadel at the end of time. He's terrifying. He planned everything. He's seen everything. He knows everything. It's complicated, okay? But someone is coming. Countless different versions of a very dangerous person, and they're all set on war. We need to prepare.
Take it easy. You're an analyst, right? What division are you from?
What are you talking about?
Who are you? What's your name?
Boots on the ground now, archives.
Who are you?
coming? You don't know. And if Loki's scared, that tells you it's about to get real. So it's freaking insane. It's so cool that Mr. Kevin Feige is my source. He's confirmed everything I've been saying for the last few months about Kang the freaking Conqueror and about the overall storyline for Ant-Man 3, which just makes me more excited and more looking forward to seeing Ant-Man 3 and Kang going forward. So like always, guys, let us know all your comments down below. Always appreciate the comments. If you've got any constructive criticism, let me know down below. Be respectful. I'll try and comment back to every comment like I always do. If you could, check us out on Instagram at WarStew to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter at WarStewG. And we'll catch you in another video, guys, very soon. Catch you later.